Hi guys, Bill Mufasajeep. So today, in preparation of Jeep Beach, because it's coming up soon, we are gonna do a little bit of like detail on Mufasajeep, and it's just like little things that I like to do to keep the Jeep looking as good as it possibly can. Over, I think Mufasa is probably 2.5 years old now since we got it, and we wheel it. It gets little scratches underneath and stuff like that. So, and I'm picky. I don't like. A lot of people don't know. I won't just put any sticker on it. I'm very, I'm very picky about my Jeep. So, some people are going to think this is crazy. I'm pretty sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath the Jeep and I'm going to touch up some things, especially in the front, because the front of your vehicle is like the is where you it's the first thing people see. So when we look underneath the vehicle, there's a couple things that stick out to me as a Jeep owner, and people judge you off how nice and neat your stuff is. I mean, they do because I mean, I got guys all the time that come up to me when we're at events and be like, "Oh, you got a pavement princess," and it's not. But the problem is, I keep it so clean that people actually think I never ever wheel this Jeep, which is what we're getting to the point here. So these nuts, if we can get the camera real close, we'll see them. You see how they're like rusty, and that's right up front in the front of the Jeep. So I touch these up and make them black again and make them look nice. Back here, I think I bumped that somehow, and you can see the orange is like little scratched there. So I want to get the paint out, and I want to touch some of this stuff up and make it look good again. So we got our little scratch there. We got these nuts here. These nuts. um, this one over here, we could see. I never painted that one because it was nice and silver when I first bought it. That's only been on the Jeep maybe 6 months, a year, or something like that. So we're gonna touch these things up and bring them back to nice and good looking. Here's another spot, and this was an oopsie by me. If you look back here, we could see right here. The reason why we went with the 38, the minus 38 rims is because the minus 12s didn't have enough offset. So lock to lock, this Jeep was rubbing. Just these little side lugs on the side of the tire here were rubbing right here. So I'm gonna go in and we're gonna take our paint out and we're gonna get a little brush and we are gonna touch up all these little things that you see. And you can see like even right here, like I touched this up at one point. These came silver. I don't know why manufacturers do that, but it looks better when you black these things out and make them nice and neat. Here's another spot, like right here, we could see this screw. I painted it at one time, and just over time, road debris and stuff has taken the paint off of this screw. So we're gonna go over all this so that when we get done today, the front of the Jeep isn't gonna have any little rusty bits, and it's actually gonna look really clean. So, and I'm sure if we go to the back, I can find some more stuff. But let's start on the front. So, oh, here's a big one. The Florida sun has changed my Farrowlead thingy to, I don't know, what do you guys think that is? Looks peach to me. It's not orange. I don't know. We got to fix that. It's not the right color. Just the sun beats on this stuff and fades it really, really bad. So we're going to take care of it today. So we got our work cut out for us. So I like this paint. Fusion all-in-one, 5 times stronger adhesion, satin black. So the satin black is kind of like, you can see where the lid, it has a little bit of sheen, but it's not shiny. And I think this is like pretty much the closest thing to what the frame and some of these like little auxiliary parts are. They have a sheen, but they're not a bright gloss shiny. So this is kind of the color that I lean on when I touch up some of these things because it doesn't like it would be bad if we had one shiny piece and then the rest was more of a satin type piece. So let's shake this up. I like this brush. So we have a brush, and oh, I'm almost forgetting a step. So we want to take the, always clean your stuff with alcohol because there's no sense in trying to paint something, especially if you use like, I use like the shiny spray stuff on certain parts in the front. And if any of that got onto what I'm trying to paint, this paint is not going to last. So what we need to do is we need to take our alcohol, clean the surface first. I'm not really going to prep it because it usually lasts about 6 months, and it's something that I do every 6 months. So we're going to get right into this. Take this. Get my hands full. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to wipe down. We're going to wipe down these nuts right here. There we go. Hey, guys, listen. Nobody likes dirty nuts. I'm just saying. That's nuts. Okay, so we just wiped off those three things. I'm gonna come over here. I'm just gonna do it all the cleaning at once. Wipe these off. So then by the time I make it back over there, it should be dry. What is that? Okay, I think we're good there. So the trick to this is, we're gonna do this. It tends to splatter when I spray these in here. I just use the cap as like the holder for the paint. You're gonna get it all over your fingers, so it's just part of it. I mean, if you want, you can put a glove on. I'll just wash my hands really well after. There we go. We're gonna get underneath here, and we're gonna dip our brush, get quite a bit on there. Whoa, I'm dripping. And we're just gonna, whoa, don't trip. There we go, one done. Get in here. Just want to make this back to presentable. That looks good. Okay. Get in here. I'm wiping the paint off so it doesn't drip, because that first one seemed like it wanted to drip pretty good. So we're going to get in here and touch this up, because this is right up front and it looks crappy. Get in there. Come on. Missed a spot. Oh, look at that. You're right. Missed the spot. And the edge is seeming kind of difficult to get. There we go. I'm just going to take the brush and smooth this back down so it doesn't leave a bunch of brush strokes. That has a little. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, on to the next side. good progress. Wow, the inside of this looks crappy. There we go. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. That looks pretty. Whoa, don't drop it. All right, now we're gonna go on to. Ooh, I didn't even wipe these down. Oh, yeah, we almost forgot one. Trying to make good time here and. Get in there. That's good for the front, except for our peach fair lead, orangish, peachish, whatever you want to call that. Oh no. Let's see if we got enough of this. Oh, we need to wipe that off first. Okay, we're gonna take our right here where we rubbed, clean that up real good. Kind of good. Uh-oh. Looks nice.
Is there a reason you don't do those?
No, I don't do those because they're clean and they're from the factory that way, and it looks good. The minute you touch one of these things up, something like this, if I were to start to paint those black, this process would take hours. The rest of this stuff was kind of black before, so that's why I want to paint it and make it look good again. Oh yeah. It's really chipping. I think this was from Jeeptober where we really were getting into some heavy wheeling, and these tires were really digging in. Ooh, we might be dry. Let's find out if we got enough. Okay. That looks pretty good. You'll have just enough to do these on the outside here. Got one more on the other side. Get on there, little baby. Oh no, don't make me spray more. We're so close. Ta-da! So I buy these brushes in big kits, like, buy a bunch of them because this needs to go in the trash now. Because now it's going to get really hard and stiff in the next 10 minutes and you won't ever be able to use it again. So don't buy expensive brushes, just buy a big pack of cheap old brushes. And I think we're good on the black. So I'm going to go ahead and get this removed, which is going to be a pain in the butt because the nuts are back here. And then once I get this off, I'll have you guys back. I'll show you on this one. I'm actually going to prep it a little bit. We'll sand it, and then once I sand it, then we're going to set it out on some cardboard or something, and we're going to go ahead and give it one or two more coats, and then we'll put it back on the Jeep, and I'll have you guys back for that part. Okay, we got it off. Um, it seems a little slick, like maybe I got some tire shine or something on it, so I'm going to wipe it off to start with, and then we're going to sand it, and then we'll wipe it off a bunch of times, and then we'll hit it with some paint. Yeah, it's got some wax or something on it because it was slickery. These things look like crap for a while. I've been meaning to do this for a little bit. Gotta brush my teeth. You know what I'm saying? Oral B. Oh, you good at dental pick? I'm my own entertainment. Gotta keep a hold of it. It wants to slide around everywhere.
What brand are you using?
This is the same as I always use. This is the P320, and it's the meshy style like I showed before. I buy it, like I said before, I buy it by the box because um, it's just good to have this around when you're trying to make something look nice again, and it keeps you from running out to the store all the dang time. Sandpaper is expensive though. It really is. I get why people wouldn't want to keep, but it just makes it easier. I don't like run into the store every time I need a little thing, so the Florida sun down here really just beats up on everything. That's why we have a lot of Jeeper friends, and they have Jeeps where they got the anodized rims, like aluminum with a color. And it's funny because they'll go out and buy these cool black and red rims, and then the sun beats down on them, and those black and red rims turn into black and pink rims. That's why I just stay with the standard black, because if the black fades a little bit, it doesn't look that bad. But anything anodized down here in the sun, it just doesn't keep. I mean, unless somebody knows of a better product where they um, do a better job or give it some UV protection. Just every time I see a Jeep that's in a sunny state like Florida, always has a like the Jeep will look great, and I know they spent a lot of money on the rims. The problem is then all of a sudden you got black and pink instead of black and red, and for us down here, I think it's just better to stay away from the colored stuff unless you want to maintain it, i.e. like we have to here. So we're going to paint this guy up, and it's going to be not peach anymore. Brush his teeth. Get all the dirt out of these little indents here. And I'm going to lay it over here, set up myself a little table. Now I want to go back over where I just touched it with my fingers. I was going to use another term, but we'll keep this PG. Okay. The oils in your fingers, why I like wiping everything off. The oils in your fingers. If you ever spray painted something and then it had one spot where like you'd spray and it wouldn't the paint wouldn't cover that one spot. It's because you got natural like oils in your hands, and you touched it or you didn't clean it enough, and then guess what? You got to sand it and do it all over again. I'm not saying that isn't going to happen here. We don't know until we start spraying it. So I might have not wiped this off good enough, and we're going to find out here in a minute. But yeah. Okay. Hey guys, does anybody actually shake this for as long as they say to shake it? I think it says for a full minute. I have never met no crazy fool that's sitting there for, hey, hon, get out the timer. We got to do this for 60 seconds. I don't think that happens. All right. It looks a little bumpy. It's a little bumpy right there. I think we're going to let it dry, and then I'll have you guys back, and we'll see those bumps go away. We may end up having to sand this and redo it again. Like I said, you just never know. I really don't like spray painting stuff because I just don't ever think it depends on if you're in the front of the can, the bottom of the can, how it sprays, like how much paint to aerosol. I don't know what the dynamic is, but it just sometimes you get things like this and then you got to start over and it's looking kind of pitty and I don't know if I'm gonna. I definitely don't like it, so we might have to do it again. But while I got you here, we were gonna touch up some other stuff. So same trick as the last time. You could already see I've sprayed paint in this cap for touching things up. So we're gonna do the same thing because we missed a few. Well, we didn't miss a few. I just didn't have the orange paint out. Cameraman needs to watch her legs because I don't want to spray her orange. Okay. And what I want to do is, especially this one, I've noticed that one for a while. So we're going to get in there and we're going to make that orange again. Okay. And I notice right here, there's a few where we installed it, got a little marred by the tool. And I know I've touched it up before. This won't last forever, but it'll last for a good little while. It'll make it look good again. Looks like maybe there wasn't enough paint down in. Oh, did I hit that black bar? Look at that, I did. Damn it. Watch what you're doing. Look what I did. We're going to wipe that off pretty quick. As it dries on there, we're hosed. Now the trick is to wipe this off without wiping everything else we just did off. Oh dang, it's still on it. There we go. And I bumped it. You see? It did it. Dang. Okay. Get back in there with a little bit of paint where I bumped it with my rag.
You have to let that dry
Yeah, maybe.
and then redo it. Back on.
There we go. Okay. That should dry. At least it looks like it's going to run a little bit. Maybe I'll wipe it off a little bit. This is a difficult spot because I keep bumping this and then it's running here, so I'm just going to do that. There we go. Okay, so that part's done. And just like last time, 10 minutes, this is going to be hard. It's got to go in the trash. Except for I'm using my trash bin for that. So we're gonna have to park this thing somewhere. All right. So we walked away for a few minutes. Good Lord. She looks a little bumpy.
Orange peel.
It looks orange peely. I think I'm gonna have to let this dry, you guys, and
Redo it.
we're gonna redo it. Or do I wipe it down with alcohol? Because if we wait for this to dry, it's probably gonna take a while. So if I wipe it down with alcohol, I'm gonna get orange paint all over myself. Decisions, all right? We're gonna wipe it down. Something didn't like the surface. Maybe I didn't let it dry enough after the alcohol. Maybe we'll turn the fan on it. I'll wipe it down. We're gonna turn the fan on it, and then I don't know. Maybe I should hit it with a little bit of there we go. Primer, maybe. We'll see. We're about to tear up this rag, that's for sure. Ooh. Real painters are probably like, what the hell is he doing? Guys, I'm not a real painter. I'm just an amateur. See? All right, try again. There's definitely a bunch of all right, this is gonna be loud, but that stuff's pretty gummy, so I'm gonna go back in with a newer one. There we go. Yeah, it's tacky and gummy, and yeah. Pretty sure people say don't do this. Whoa! Sheesh. Stop. Okay. Beep. Get back here. That's crazy. I'm burning up, burning up these pads that fast. We're getting closer though, so if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? Man, look at what a new pad does. You see how fast that clean that off? Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off. I am gonna prime it, and then we'll paint it. So, um, give me a few minutes. I'll be back. We'll get this thing wiped down, and we'll hit it with some primer. Okay, I got it all cleaned off again, sanded it, you've seen, and then used the alcohol, wiped it down really good. I gave it 2 coats of primer, and then I was thinking about it, and I think because I talked crap about shaking the can for 60 seconds, maybe you're supposed to. I don't know. So, yeah, my arm's about ready to fall off. I shook the stupid can for 60 full seconds, and we're going to try this again and see what happens. So, cross your fingers. I think maybe I was a little too close, too. My wife pointed that out, and she might be right. So, shake the can for 60 seconds, listen to the wife. Maybe this will come out good. We're gonna see. Put my glasses up so I can see what's going on. And we're gonna do a light dusting. And I think that's the trick is stand back and we're gonna dust it a few times. Like if we were painting a car, they would tell you to put a light coat on. I just want to get inside all these teeth. This is a difficult piece to paint because it's got all these little edges that you got to make sure you get. Okay. I don't want to mess with it too much. I know I missed some on the inside, but I really don't want to like lay down on this until this starts tacking up. So let's let it tack up. We're going to give it 10 minutes. We're going to come in. Let's give it 15 minutes. And then we're going to come in with the next. See, that's coming out better already. It's got a couple. I mean, we're spraying outside. It's going to have a couple little dinks in it. See two little things there, a little thing there. It's not going to be perfect because we're spraying outside and there's dust blowing around and every other thing. But let's let this tack up. I'm going to come back in with another coat. We'll probably let it tack up again. I'll come back in with a third coat. We're gonna let it dry and we'll put it on the Jeep. I'll bring you back for the second and third coat, and hopefully this turns out better than it did. It's not gonna be peach anymore. I mean, we got that, right? I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, 3 coats of paint. It's nice and orange. It's covered real well. So now we just have to let it sit. I think it turned out okay. There's a little bit of, there's little things here and there from the outside, doors open, all that stuff. But what I'll do is we're gonna let this cure probably most of the day, and I'll put it on right before it gets dark outside, and I'll bring you back, and we're gonna go over all the stuff I painted and show you where we touched it up and how great it looks once it's all cleaned up and back together the way it should be. Stay tuned. Hey guys, we're back. So I decided to go ahead and we're just going to do a short at the end of this video because this thing's going to take a little while to cure. But it's looking good. Look at how shiny. It looks nice and smooth now. It wasn't bumpy, and it was really orange peeled with that first coat. So we stripped it down, got it back together, and I think it's going to look good once it's back on the Jeep. But I'll take you through all the other stuff we did real quick. So as you can see, nuts nice and black. So is my finger. I got black paint on my finger. I'm going to have to wash that off. There we go. That's black. I actually painted this. The top side of that was getting a little crusty, rusty. So we cleaned that up. There we go. There's the top side of that steering damper. That is a Bliston steering damper. I actually sanded it down and painted it orange to match my Core Off-Road 4x4 1.5 1-ton steering kit. There we go. You can see our Apex brace that I put in not long ago. Then we go to these front bolts, nice and shiny. They're not all yucky and where the paint's missing. They don't look like crap anymore. And then over to the side, we can see where, and it does look a little shinier right now than the rest of the bar, but it blends in pretty well. So all that stuff, we did this little bolt here, not silver anymore, black, so it matches. Come around the Jeep, come around the Jeep. There's this nut. We touch that one up. Touch that one up, and then right down there on the bar, no more missing paint, and it's all good to go. So Bill with Mufasajeep, like I said, later on today I will go ahead and put out a video. I'll put out a short because yep, Mufasa's naked right now. She ain't got no teeths, kind of like a drug addict. No teeths, you know what I'm saying. So Jeep Beach is coming up a couple weeks. That's why we're getting this thing prepped up, ready to go. And I will see you guys on the next one. I don't know if I'm going to do the Arctec brace because that's a little more labor intensive and stuff like that. I did order metal cloak disconnects for the front. So we're going to switch out these. I don't even know what those are. Those were, I don't know. I forget what they're called. They're a lesser brand. That's all I know. The metal cloak ones are supposed to come in the 10th, the 13th, something like that. So I'll do a video on installing those. We are going to strip them down and paint them orange to match the rest of this stuff. So it should be pretty cool. I want more orange on the front, make it look all nice and matchy. You know what I'm saying? So again, Bill, Mufasajeep, stay tuned, and we'll have some more install videos, and we'll definitely do a lot of content when we're in Jeep Beach. Hope we see you guys there.